Hello, my name is Dylan Robinson, and today I'm going to be talking to you about baseball and its history. I'm sure all of you have heard of baseball, considering it is one of America's favorite pastimes. But where did baseball originate from? Well, according to the article Baseball's Origins, Growth, and Changes in the Game on thepeopleshistory.com, baseball came about, and there are two different theories of where baseball came from. One of these theories is that a Union soldier, Abner Doubleday, created baseball after the Civil War. The second theory is that baseball was brought over from European immigrants in the form of cricket and rounders, which are baseball-like games, and then it just evolved into baseball. But the first real baseball account in history was in 1845 on September 23rd. When the New York Knickerbockers Baseball Club made an official set of rules, which includes some of the rules that are still used today, such as a diamond-shaped field, making the balk illegal, introducing foul lines, getting 3 strikes and you're out, and also that runners must be tagged or thrown out. And then the first baseball game with these official set of rules was played on June 19th, 1846 in Hoboken, New Jersey, between the Knickerbockers and the New York Baseball Club. This was probably one of the first games resembling modern-day baseball. But still yet, baseball continued to grow and change into what it is today. During the Civil War, people mainly played cricket, but then it became harder to play cricket because cricket required finely cut grass and wide open spaces, which were hard to find during the Civil War. And whereas baseball didn't require as much, it was fairly simple to play and it could be played just about anywhere. And at this time, many merchants owned many of the baseball teams, but during the 1850s and 60s, we saw rise to the working class teams, which became very popular among the fans because the fans were also of the working class. Then, in 1869, we seen the first fully professional baseball team, the Cincinnati Red Stockings, which was sponsored by a group of Ohio investors, and each player was paid an individual salary. But then their manager moved to Boston, and they became the Boston Red Stockings. Just 1 year later, in 1870, they, along with 8 other teams, formed the National Association of Professional Ball Players. And for about 30 years, the National League monopolized baseball, dominating all other leagues that challenged them, until the year 1900, when Brian Johnson created the American League. He took ex-baseball players, unemployed baseball players, and even stole some baseball players from the National League roster. And eventually, more and more players joined the American League, which caused the National League to come make a compromise with the American League. And they made it where each league had a president and a permanent chairman, and they discussed how they would govern the baseball. And this is where we see our modern-day baseball with the National League and the American League in the separate divisions. And in October of 1903, the very first World Series was played between Boston of the American League and Pittsburgh of the National League. And Boston of the American League won the very first World Series. And that's how we got modern-day baseball, the World Series and the 2 different leagues. Now that you know how baseball started and now got to where it is today, let's look at some of baseball's greatest players of all time. According to Top10.com, some of the best baseball players of all time are Babe Ruth, Willie Mays, Hank Aaron, Lou Gehrig, and Mickey Mantle. Most of these people were power hitters, and that's just what made them good. Except for Lou Gehrig, he was pretty famous for just keep going on, even though he had ALS, which is also known today as Lou Gehrig's disease. And now we can look at some of today's best baseball players. According to the article Top 500 Players for 2015 from BleacherReport.com, the top 5 players in MLB today are in this order. Number 1, Clayton Kershaw, a starting pitcher from the LA Dodgers. And then number 2, Felix Hernandez, a starting pitcher from the Seattle Mariners. And then number 3, Mike Trout, a center fielder from the Los Angeles Angels. And after that, number 4 is Corey Kluber, a starting pitcher for the Cleveland Indians. And number 5, Jonathan LaCroix is a catcher from the Milwaukee Brewers. And these are looked as the top 5 players of 2015, which is now. And as you can see, baseball has changed a lot from a game that started from a few groups of immigrants to now having over 70 million fans annually attending the games in person, and even more watching it on TV. There have been 110 World Series since the first World Series, and now there are 15 teams in each league, 30 in total. So baseball has came a long ways since it first started. Thank you.